Well, YouTube, today is the day. The engine is coming off, and I hope I make it to John Baker's. I get to meet him for the first time. He's a super nice guy. Never met him in person, but he's been a huge help to me. So yeah, pretty pumped to meet him. But first things first is got to get the motor off. A few other things I'm going to do is the rectifier I don't think is working. I went flying yesterday, I got home and the battery is dead as a doorknob. I believe it's either the rectifier or it's the stator in the motor. So everything that's getting done is, that's what I have to do, is get this rectifier off, the engine off, obviously the prop and exhaust. Great. Tube off. Take much. Comes. Disconnect the pitot. There's my Rotax battery right in the nose. And that's the back of my panel. The guy who did this did a fantastic job. Everything's labeled. It's beautiful. Quite impressed. And this is the guy that I think is giving us the trouble. So I'm going to pull him off. So, first things first, take the prop off. Take the lock wires off, take the prop off. Then I'll start disconnecting heater box, probably exhaust. Exhaust is just EGTs have to come out, and the clamp, and then just 4 bolts that comes out. Disconnect the cylinder head temp wires inside, and then probably disconnect the carbs and fuel lines, and then I'll go get the engine hoist and I'll hook this thing up. I'm honestly not even too sure how I'm going to do that yet. A strap of sorts. The builder that built this plane, he had a lot of attention to some detail, and I really appreciate it. It looks great. I just hope to keep it up myself. Okay. Okay, I got the bolts out. The engine's loose. I'm hoping I'm not going to have to lift this by myself. I think I gotta drop it a little bit. And she's off. My battery died, of course. Baker's. So I finally got all the parts. Took a while and a lot of customs and a lot of shipping, but it's all finally here. And I laid it all out so that we can go through all the stuff that you need, and then at the end I'll go over like what it all costs, and then so you kind of know what it takes. And I'm quite surprised. It's not cheap. Okay, so we'll start on this end. There's a lot of stuff here. Right here is a heater core, which you can get from Shear Technologies. The Greg Klemp is the guy's name. I got it used. There's a few other things here that I bought new. My stick is getting loose, so I bought a new yoke for it. Rudder cables need to get done. I want a new handles on the stick as well. The one I have is cracked. New trim tab. Turns out that one got hit by my kids and it's now broken. So you need obviously a different heater core. I have the those are just new. Those are the new axles that I needed to get rid of my negative camber. This guy here, water temp. It replaces the cylinder head temperature in the dash. These are the mounting plate for the motor. It's an 8 bolt with the Lord mounts. There's 8, and then obviously 8 Lord mounts. And that's all the hardware that comes with it. You can either get that from Quad City, or I think Greg Klemp, the Shear Technologies guys, have that as well. I got it from Mike Harrison. He hooked me up with some of this stuff, including this guy, new rectifier. John Baker tested my other one. It says it's working a little bit, but it wasn't great. So I got a new one. I think Mike sent that to me as well. So yeah, so if you don't have an 8 mount engine mount, you'll have to get one for the 582. These are the carb heater kit from John Baker. He just removed it off the old motor for me. This is a rotary valve tubing for obviously the rotary valve, but it's getting, since the motor's flipped, you need to do a little conversion for that. All the manuals, Rotax manual, and I bought the build manual from Quad City while I was at it. Obviously the beautiful 582. Pretty pumped, pretty excited for it. On the exhaust side, I'm staying with pull start. I'm gonna run a cable up to the front. Not to get a primer yet. I guess that's there's another part I need. Spark plugs. My old wiring harness with it labeled what they are. John Baker helped me with that. Carbs, new carbs, fuel pump, hardware with gaskets right here for the exhaust. These are extra parts from Shear Technologies for the rad. New air filter, because I guess the 582 is different as well, pretty sure. And then this thing of beauty from Greg, Shear Technologies, absolutely beautiful. They did a great job. He painted it red for me with white louvers. Totally pumped about that. And I have the winter louver on the bottom as well. So since it's a 582, you need to have a rad system for the coolant. So he makes obviously a fantastic unit. You can get it with oil injection tubes on the side as well. I opted out of that. I'm gonna go with mixed fuel. That's the other thing John Baker did for me. He did the oil pump delete on the 582 for me. This is the handles that go inside the cabin for opening and closing the louvers. There is, I'm pretty sure that's extra rad fluid bottle. I think I've seen people use a juice bottle for that. And there's a bit of other hardware here from Shear Technologies just for installing the rad system. He also sent the hoses, all the hoses I need, cables. These are the exhaust mount brackets I got from him as well. Here's my exhaust that came with the engine. I got it coated. Pretty excited about how that came out as well. This, I took a grinder and I ground off all the tabs along here just so you wouldn't have them sticking out for the springs, because I have the yoke style. Well, I don't even know what you would call them. The other style of clamps for the exhaust. New belt came, / I ordered. And then the redrive was removed by John Baker. He helped me with that. He has the right tooling for that, and he also put the pulley on the engine for me while he was at it. So you can reuse the redrive, so that's something we don't need new. Propeller, I bought a 3-blade warp drive. I've talked about it in the past already, but you need a 3-blade with a 582 to get the power, to actually utilize the power of the 582 on the Challenger, because I think it's because of the blade length. Since we're restricted with blade length, you need the extra blade to actually utilize the power of the 582, because I think you can put 2 blades on them, but they got to be longer, I believe. If I'm wrong on that, just make a comment and let me know what you think on that. So I think that's everything that you need. I guess from a cost perspective now, I have it all on my notes here. Now, I bought a lot of this stuff out of the States, so I'm obviously in Canada, and our Canadian dollar is horrendous. So, yeah, I'm gonna actually set you up on the plane here. Okay, I set you back on the plane. As I was saying, our Canadian dollar is I think it's at like 70 cents to the American $1 right now. So everything I purchased out of the States was obviously significantly more in Canadian dollars. Shipping was, you know, shipping's never cheap, especially with some bigger items. And then duties at the border, like they nailed me on so many every time. I got all kinds of duties across the border I had to pay. Now, some say that I can get those duties back if I fight it because it's aircraft related. I think they can't hit you with that. So I want to look into that. But so obviously that kind of a little bit of a factor for me on cost because it's going to sound like a lot more because it's in Canadian dollars with all the shipping and everything. The engine's the only thing I got through in Canadian dollars was through John Baker. And everything else is pretty much out of the States. So I just have it all written down on my phone. I just kind of gave totals with tax. This is with tax, with shipping, and with duties. And if anything, these prices are probably on the low side because I probably missed some taxes and duties here and there on things. So the engine with tax and shipping across Canada was $9,000 or $9,100. And the work I got done by John to transfer everything, and he dealt with selling my other engine. I sold the other engine as well. His bill was $500. So that's just to get the redrive removed from the old engine, to get the new pulley put on, the oil pump delete, and there's a bunch of other things that John did for me as well. The engine mount kit, I think they're 300 US. I said 350 bucks for the new kit with all the Lord mounts, everything for that. Radiator kit with tax and duties was unreal. What that ended up costing me was 3,200 bucks. So that definitely was more than I thought. But again, it's all because of the dollar and the shipping and the duties and everything that racked that up for me. There's a bunch of other things that I didn't include in this list actually because they were for the airplane. So like I got wing fairings and new plastic for the doors and like rudder cables and like a bunch of other things. Now I'm pretty sure I got them. It's all separated from this, so these are pretty accurate numbers. But the prop with taxes was around 2,600 bucks, like taxes and shipping and everything from Warp Drive. Now I think their 3-blade is like 1,150 or something US, plus the nickel leading edges, which is another 110 bucks a edge, I think, or something. So yeah, so it was around 2,600 all in. And then the heater kit I bought used for 500 bucks. Now you can buy it new. Like if you were to buy one new, I think it's 750 US plus shipping and everything. The water temp gauge was 200 bucks. And then my exhaust coating was 700 bucks to get that done. So everything all in, it's like, I can't believe I spent this on this was $17,150. So yeah, not a cheap upgrade. But I'm really hoping it was worth it, and I'm pretty pumped about it, and I'm looking forward to the reliability of the 582 as well, and just a new motor on the plane, and you know, more power is going to be great as well, especially if I go back to floats. I sold the old engine for $2,000. That was with the old exhaust. I got to keep the exhaust that I had on it. It was it's also a powder coated exhaust, so if anybody needs a 503 powder coated that looks like that exhaust, I have one. And yeah, that's it. So that's what you need. and that's what it cost. And then yeah, Greg sent me like all the instructions on how to mount everything, and yeah, all that's been pretty good, and everyone's been great dealing with. I just call anytime, they're saying, like if you need any help, just call. So yeah, it's been great. So if you have any questions about it all, let me know. I'm thinking about doing another video on like the actual install of it, all the little bits and pieces. We'll see you guys on the next video.